Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hey, I'm Mike.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look at some of your favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down.
Some folks say that Willie Green was the baddest motherfucker the world ever seen. But I want you to hold on to your seat and hold on to them tight, because you're now getting ready to see the story of me. Yes, me, the badass Dolemite.
Oh, he's bad. The man is out of sight. He's a tough dog.
All right, so we're back to talk a little bit more about Dolemite. Let's jump back into this plot.
Yeah, let's get back into Dolemite, one of the best action flicks of all time, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe not,
No.
but it is fun as hell.
I've never seen this on riff tracks. I wonder why they are afraid of this movie.
I don't know, man. I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Where we had just left off, Willie Green had come back to his club and found that Dolemite had retaken control of it and taken his money back, and he was smacking his guys around a little bit for letting Dolemite get the best of them.
Yeah, man. First of all, that was totally pimp of Dolemite. Like, he just walked in he owned the club, but he walked in like he owned the club.
I feel like three dudes pulled knives on him and he just smacked them all around.
Oh yeah, he totally. It's like, this is no problem whatsoever.
So then Dolemite is back at the karate dojo to see Queen Bee and the rest of the Dolemite girls.
Yeah, so earlier in the film, Queen Bee had mentioned that, which is such a random,
and such a 70s.
Such a random thing, yeah.
She blew all the money so the girls could all learn karate.
So Dolemite, like we had said, Dolemite is a pimp, right? And he's got all these girls. He goes to jail for a couple of years. He's set up. While he's in jail, his madam enrolls all his girls into karate school.
Of course.
Now, that's the most 70s thing ever, is to enroll a bunch of hookers into karate school.
It was totally it's some Tarantino type shit.
A lot of Tarantino.
Bell bottoms and afros.
A lot of kind of Russ Meyer-esque stuff in this film.
It is just a lot of eye candy and action that doesn't really have anything to do with the plot.
Karate hookers. That's awesome. First off,
you should make that movie just called Karate Hookers.
Karate hookers.
That would do well, dude. Midnight showings.
Karate hookers from space.
Yes.
That's sign me up, man. Now I think we're getting into the 80s because
I'll just be your oil boy. I oil the girls up. Give me that part.
Yeah, sign you up.
So Dolemite is talking to Queen Bee and he's telling her we might have to battle Willie Green because he's all mad that they had taken the club back. Mm-hmm. And then there was an exchange between Queen Bee and Dolemite that made zero sense. Queen Bee asks, well, where did you get the money to get the club back?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And he says his answer to that question is, there's something I learned when I was 15 years old. If I went to jail, it would be for something big. And I promised myself that when I got out, I'd never be broke again. So I paid Willie Green every cent I owe him. Like, okay,
so yeah,
that's cool, Dolemite.
Great
that's
answer.
Cool, but it doesn't explain where the money came from, though.
So yeah, the next scene should have been Queen Bee, kind of okay, so yeah, that doesn't answer my question.
And I mean, honestly, he did go to jail, but it was for something small, right?
Not only did he go to jail
framed.
he was framed. Yeah, framed.
But it was for coats, fur coats.
It was like
stolen furs.
It was like cocaine and coats.
Stolen furs.
It was like
cocaine.
the most random. Like they had to just add that coats in to get the max, And
it was such another 70s thing, just fur coats and cocaine. Mm-hmm. That should be somebody's funk album. It's called Fur Coats and Cocaine.
I would not be surprised. Google it, somebody, because I'm sure it's out there.
Yeah.
Not James Brown.
Someone lesser.
Somebody who self-produced an album from Alabama somewhere.
But yeah, so that had me chuckling. And then Dolemite, then he gets the girls all gathered around and he's telling them that we've got our club back, and they all go crazy cheering. And he says, but there will be problems.
Yeah. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, one of the guys in that scene trained under Chuck Norris.
Yeah, dude.
And
there was special thanks on the credits for thanks to Chuck Norris Karate School.
So
that's fucking awesome.
This is one of another cool thing about this movie is Dolemite knew a lot of people like around LA and everything.
It was did he know him through the entertainment?
I think he just was that guy that just knew people, you know? There's always that guy that knows people.
That's kind of awesome.
And this was Dolemite. He just knew people. And I think he just walked into the dojo or whatever they're called. And he was like, hey, you know, I really need to use your...
Can we film in here?
Yeah, can we film in here? And
can you show the girls a little karate or something?
And he knew that the guy wanted to be on camera.
Okay.
So, you know, around this time, Chuck Norris was making his...
He was just coming up.
Yeah, he was just coming up. And so the guy had trained under Chuck Norris. And so he's like, hey... do you want to be like the next Chuck Norris? Can we film in your place? And I'll give you a spot in the film. I think he did that a lot. I think he was like, hey, let me film here and you can have a spot in my film. I think
definitely some of these girls were just straight out of the club for real. Like
absolutely.
Dancers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Though you would think if he knows all these people, he would have had a little bit better like karate himself. Like a little more karate chops. You know?
Yeah, but that would be like somebody teaching me karate.
But then again, if I had 1 week of lessons, I would probably be about at Dolemite's level.
I watched The Matrix and I think I know karate, but actually doing it on film.
Yeah, that's true. You got to be flexible, which,
yeah.
I mean, you can't take a man our age and just say, let's get flexible.
Nah, there's a lot of stuff that's popping and cracking.
But so Dolemite's telling all the girls, we're going to throw a big party now that we got the club back and we're going to let, you know, just whatever, to let everybody know that we're back in business. And then he drops one of the iconic lines from the movie.
Dolemite is my name and fucking up motherfuckers is my game.
And the girls go wild. Now, meanwhile, the shady looking mayor is having a big house party.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody looks less electable than this mayor. Like, he's the shadiest looking dude in the whole movie.
Oh, he is. I'm surprised he wasn't smoking a cigar.
Willie Green or Dolemite look more reputable than this guy.
Yeah, he's totally shady. Yeah.
I wonder where they found this guy. Just straight out of like, we need the sleaziest looking guy around.
I'm not sure who the actor was, but so there was a lady giving like this big speech about how, you know, everybody needs to reelect the mayor
and how much the mayor had done for the black community.
Yeah.
I think she though just kind of says he's done the most for the blacks.
Yeah, sort of like
which
Donald
is
Trump.
kind of the way it's phrased is like it made my skin my skin crawl a little bit. Is that offensive?
No, I mean no, but then it was also made in the 70s.
Yeah.
So that's she's giving this big speech about how, you know, he's like a good guy, you need to reelect him or you need to elect him anyway. But my thing is, how did he get this house? How did Rudy Ray Moore
Oh yeah, the house. It looked like Hollywood Hills.
It was definitely like a man. I wouldn't say mansion, but it was definitely a nice house.
It was nice.
So this guy was working on like a budget.
Do you think that was just someone he knew's house?
Had to be.
Can we shoot outside?
Had to be. I don't think he broke in or anything. Like I don't think he pulled Eddie Murphy and broke into the house and was like, I don't think he was that bold.
Willie Green arrives at the house in this amazing yellow sports car.
What was that?
I had no idea, dude. It was so exotic, man. It was like some James Bond shit.
Is it a Lotus? A Spree?
It might have been a Lotus, or it could have been an old, like a early Lambo or something.
Yeah.
Like, it was incredible.
It wasn't a Ferrari, but it was something like that.
Dude, it was beautiful. Where did he get access to that car?
Exactly.
You see,
Dolemite or Rudy Ray Moore.
Rudy Ray Moore was a hustler.
He knew people.
Yeah, man.
He was that guy, and that's I think one of the things I respect the most about him making this movie is that. He was like, I'm gonna make this movie. Like, nothing's gonna stop me.
And nothing necessarily, it doesn't necessarily need to make sense. You know, no one's gonna question why is this guy drive one car in this scene and the next time you see him driving, he's driving a different car, or the bad guy's driving the same car that the good guy was driving earlier in the movie.
And you know that was like the
they had that one Cadillac Fleetwood and they were using it.
And you know that was like somebody in the Cruise car too.
Of course.
Like it's probably the nicest car that anybody owned. And it was like, oh, can we borrow that for this scene?
Man, dude, I love this very snooty, light-skinned butler that opened the door.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know what his deal was. He kind of had his hair permed, right? He was like, Willie Green strong arms him. He's like, well, who are you, sir?
Yeah,
It was it was strange. I don't know where they found this dude either.
Definitely snooty butler, very stereotypical.
I love when Willie Green took him like kind of by the scruff of the neck and said, like, you go get the mayor. You tell him Willie Green's here to see him.
Yeah. Willie Green you don't mess with Willie Green, man. I'm surprised that you don't really have any interaction with him and Dolemite up until like late in the movie.
I thought his performance, I mean, and granted, it should be the best, I guess, because he was maybe the most seasoned actor.
Yeah.
But his performance was pretty strong. Like, he had so much charisma.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a little guy.
Well, like you said, he was the most recognizable actor in the movie at that point. So this is actually where we find out that because early in the film, we didn't know who bailed out Dolemite. And this is where we find out that the mayor did it. Because he wanted
to kill him, get him on the street so they could take him out.
Yeah, he wanted him back on the street so he could take him out. Like, that seems to me it would be a lot easier to do that in jail.
Yeah. Basically, Willie Green was he was mad. He's like, Dolemite's out of jail and he's messing up all of our schemes. And then the mayor was, as you say, he's like, yeah, I had Pinky get him out so we could kill him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really sure why they needed him dead.
So much easier to do in jail.
I mean, I got to think if you're able to pull these type of strings, you could have somebody do that job in jail.
A, B, I mean, he's in jail. He could have just randomly been killed, right? So
of course.
Why would you take him out of jail and do that? But that kind of plot makes no sense. And
then Willie Green leaves and the mayor makes a phone call where he appears to be telling somebody like to put a hit on Dolemite.
Yep. I think he's calling like the two cops.
But yeah, he's basically, so now he's got, I guess Willie Green is under orders to kill Dolemite and the police.
Mm-hmm. I mean, not that it had to be official because they've been trying to do this the entire movie, but now I guess they made it official.
Yeah. And then you got the shady ass preacher character. He calls Dolemite at the club with a hot tip. He's like, I'll tell you who's trying to get you if you give me some money. Yeah. And Dolemite agrees to come meet him at the funeral home, wherever it is, or is it in the church?
I think it's in the funeral home. Because this is where the two guys pop out of the...
That's some more just outlandish shit.
Like, he just walks up into the...
We're going to get to it. Dolemite and Shy go to the church or whatever it is, and it's set up for a funeral. Or maybe it's a funeral home, whatever. And then Shy says she's afraid of ghosts. And Dolemite tells her, if you ever see a ghost, you cut the motherfucker. I love that. That was a good line.
I mean, the lines in this movie are just...
And it is just like, they almost wrote the scenes just to help deliver the lines that they liked, I think, or something. Or maybe they set it up and then he's like, what would I say? What would be the funniest thing I could say in this moment?
I think this was part of Rudy Ray Moore's act. And he was like, let's figure out a way to weave the stuff into the movie.
And so... in this room, there's a couple of bodies and open caskets, and then there was the one closed casket. The preacher steps out from the side, and they both act very startled, but the preacher didn't really like pop out very suddenly or anything. He just walked out. Yeah. And a delayed reaction, they both kind of jump and are scared, and then Dolemite sort of goes and checks him. He's like, why are you trying to scare my girl?
Yeah. Dolemite's always trying to strong arm somebody. And that's what's cool about the preacher is that he's got his two henchmen like ambushing him and like sitting in the coffin.
That's right. It's like, boom, the dudes in the casket are alive.
And it was almost so obvious that they were gonna do that.
But why would you even bother doing it? Like, this is so dramatic of the preacher to set it up this way instead of just having them be in the room with guns.
Yeah. Maybe
pretending to be dead is just so theatrical.
Yeah, that is true. I think that Rudy Ray Moore and Jerry Jones probably watched a lot of spa movies. Yeah. And they're kind of like, what would a cheap ass James Bond do? Exactly. Like, and they saw stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, we got to have that in my movie.
Kind of feeling.
That's what's so cool about this movie. Rudy Ray Moore's like, you know what? I want to have this in my movie. I want to have karate chicks. I want to have karate chicks.
I want to have James Bond cars.
I want to have James Bond cars. I want to have guys popping out of caskets. And they put it in the movie and they made it work.
I love it, dude. I love it. And and they were having so much fun doing it, and there's just such passion that you just roll with it.
You're right. It's the charisma of all that, and you can just feel it. You can feel the sense of them enjoying themselves while they're making this movie.
So Dolemite had found the closed casket was full of guns, and that's when he told him, haha, well, now you give me my money back, preacher, or I'm going to call the cops and tell them that you're running guns. But I mean, would Dolemite snitch like that? That's kind of lame, right?
I don't think he would have actually snitched.
He always is just threatening somebody.
Yeah, he does that a lot. I don't. Would he have turned him in for guns? I can't see it.
It would have backfired because the police already knew what he was doing. He's working for the mayor.
And everybody's so crooked anyway. Like, what would have been the benefit of that?
After the preacher had the guys pull guns on him, it's just strange to me that Dolemite still trusts him.
So yeah, he tells him what the checking the fish barrels down by the dock. He tells him go
down to the docks, and then Dolemite's like, what the fuck am I going to do down there? And he's like, you're a whatever. He's like, you'll figure it out. You know what to do. Yeah, like you're a professional.
This movie is just a lot of so much. I feel like
I wonder if there were scenes that they shot that didn't come out that would have made it make more sense.
I think that every single thing that they shot was in this movie, and they cut
There's no outtakes.
There's no outtakes. They put the only thing they cut was the beginnings and the tails of a shot.
Okay.
And everything else made it into this movie.
And yeah, the preacher told him
a lot of it makes no sense.
The preacher told him, if you get in trouble down there, you tell him the big man sent you.
Being the mayor? Or?
I guess so, but I don't think Dolemite even knows. But man, when he's down on the docks, Dolemite is rocking the overalls and the red shirt, and he had a gigantic like butterfly collar. I mean, it was the biggest collar I've ever seen.
Isn't he trying to like blend in?
He's trying to blend in.
He's trying to blend in for like
a traditional dock worker
yeah.
wearing a bell-bottom overalls.
And doesn't he bring Chicago with him?
He had a girl with him.
He brings one of his girls.
I don't know who it was.
I don't remember if it's Chicago, who's probably the best actress in this movie.
Yeah,
but
then he finds. In one of the dead fishes, he opens up a dead fish and there's a bag of cocaine in it.
Yeah. Is it in the fish or is it in the... Is it actually in the fish?
I thought it was in an actual fish.
Maybe. But, I don't know. I can see them going that extra mile.
He's like, just what I expected. And it's like, motherfucker, this dude just told you what you were going to find, though.
Did he actually say cocaine?
I think he said you'll find the source, you'll find the supply down at the. So I think he knew. I think it was clear what he was talking about.
Who keeps $10 million worth of cocaine in a fish barrel outside of the dock? Like he didn't like break into the dock.
See,
and he didn't break into like a warehouse. And
they did it right in Beverly Hills Cop, right? In Beverly Hills Cop, it was in the customs whatever.
Yeah,
the bonded
the
warehouse.
bear bonds. Yeah,
yeah,
not the cocaine,
but it was hidden in coffee. I can see why that you hide it in something that smells strongly like something else.
I get that part of it.
I like that,
but it was literally sitting outside. Like he didn't break into the warehouse and had to snoop around, had to avoid that guard that was taking a smoke break.
Yeah.
He just like walked up.
There was no security.
Yeah, there was no security. He just walked up and was like, okay, here's this barrel.
You figure if they're keeping millions of dollars worth of cocaine down there, they would have somebody watching.
And if
it was just fish, I could see no security, but
yeah, and he didn't.
They got their whole stash.
He didn't. It's not like he went up to the barrel that had an X on it. He just went up to like a barrel.
The first barrel.
The first barrel he saw. Does that mean that all those barrels had fish and cocaine in it?
Maybe. Dude, I just saw Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler flick that just came out.
I heard Adam Sandler's money in that.
Yeah, dude, you got to see that.
Okay.
It's fucking crazy. But they smuggle in sort of an illicit gem from overseas, from Africa, and it's hidden inside of a fish.
No way, really?
Yeah,
you think they got that from Dolemite?
I don't know, but I guess it's a good way to smuggle something just because who wants to go cut a fish open and whatever. I
mean, so there's two options, I guess.
Or that's the way
people
that this
have always been doing
happens.
it, right?
Yeah. It is.
Or Dolemite started this.
It's a good hiding place. Yeah, Dolemite invented it.
I want to think Dolemite invented it.
I want that
to be true.
That's the funner story.
Yeah.
Now we're at the club party. Dolemite's total experience.
Yeah.
Where does that name come from? Did he have a real club in real life?
So I'm not sure. I think around this time he was working for a record company. When he was making this movie, he was doing his comedy. And I think he had made some records, but he
didn't have his own theater. We don't think.
I don't think so. I think he was probably. I think that was probably a real club. Because like I said earlier, I think that this whole part of the movie was
in the hotel.
No. I think that the other stuff was in the hotel.
You know what? In the Dolemite Netflix movie, they reference, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but they reference like, oh, it's an old hotel, blah, 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 blah. It even has a dance club. So it might have been that they had a ballroom or something in the hotel.
Could have been. I don't get that feeling though. I get the feeling that Rudy Ray Moore.
The exterior was a different building. Yeah, for sure.
I get the feeling that Rudy Ray Moore was doing like a lot of comedy around this time. In fact, I think that's what helped pay for this movie. He was doing, the circuit.
Yeah.
And he just was like, we'll just film one of my shows and we'll insert it into the movie. That's the feeling I get.
Okay.
Now, did he do it at the hotel? Maybe, possibly. I do remember them saying that how they had to clean up a lot of stuff because the hotel was basically breaking down.
It was like a crack, and it was like a drug den.
Yeah. So yeah, it's possible. Let's just go with what the movie says because I can't imagine they lied.
Okay. So at the club, it was just like a Dolemite and a parade of other pimps coming in.
Yeah.
Like one dressed more outlandishly than the next.
Yeah.
With furs
Those
and
are some
canes
outfits,
and hats and all that. Exactly what you expect,
I just don't understand the whole drawing attention to yourself with the fly outfits.
So if you were a pimp, you'd be like playing it low key.
Absolutely, man. I mean,
I got you.
Because now I would. 'Cause you don't want to walk down the street and people are like.
What about in 1975 though?
Probably then too, because I imagine the people who were low key are the ones that are A, still alive, and B, not in jail.
Now, this scene, I think, is this your favorite part of the movie, the performance portion?
I wouldn't say it's my favorite part of the movie because all of this movie is my favorite part of the movie. I would say it's the most famous scene in the movie. To me, it's the one, if you say it, then you're automatically like, oh, Dolemite, right?
It was like this extended funk music concert to start with dancing girls and the crazy ass costumes on the performers and just the worst lip syncing you've ever seen.
So there's this one scene where they have like, I guess, some African dancers. Now, again, going back to Eddie Murphy made Coming to America, and one of the scenes in that movie, he had a beautiful scene where a bunch of African dancers come out and do this elaborate dance. Right?
That was in the first portion of the movie before he left?
That was like right where Eddie Murphy was going to meet his bride.
Okay, yeah.
So in Dolemite, there's a scene where all these dancers come out and they do this like really, it's not nearly as many dancers, but they do like this really elaborate African dance. And I remember seeing it and was thinking, this is exactly like Coming to America.
See, that's what I'm saying though. Like Eddie Murphy definitely saw these movies and liked them and possibly pulled some inspiration for his projects that he would do 10 years later.
But I mean, how cool would it have been to have Rudy Ray Moore in Coming to America?
He could have been the king of the country. You know what I mean? Or something. You need James Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones. Like that's giving him way too much to do.
He could have been like the side dude then, like his right hand man.
He could have been like I don't know.
You would have made him. Would you have had him running the fast food spot?
He could have been Louis Anderson at McDowell's. He could have been that.
He could have even been. Who was it? John Amos who was the manager? Was it John Amos?
John Amos, yeah.
He couldn't have paid.
Nah, he couldn't have done that either.
Dude, John Amos was in Uncut Gems.
Was he really?
And they said it's the craziest shit, dude. So they're on the
John Amos from
And I'll tell you, let me tell you, they're going up to the apartment in his mistress's apartment, and Adam Sandler and his son. Mm-hmm. The son wants to use the bathroom, but Adam Sandler can't let him go into the apartment. And he's telling the son, the bathroom's being remodeled. Let's see if one of the neighbors will let you use it. And he knocks on the door and he's like, you're going to love this guy. This guy's an actor. He was in Good Times. He was the dad on Good Times.
Shit.
And the guy opens the door and it's totally John Amos. He says, hey, what's up? Can my son use your bathroom for a second? And he's basically like, fuck you. And closes the door and that's it.
Really? That was his scene?
That was his scene. That was a sweet ass cameo.
That makes me want to see that movie.
You gotta see it, man. It's so good.
I'm on it.
Okay. It's so good.
And leave all this in the podcast.
I'm staying in, baby. Oh, where the hell were we?
Where were we?
We were talking about the dancers.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we got to John Amos. Okay, so then we'll pick up with more of the performance, I guess.
Yeah. So basically what I was saying is that the dancers, they do a dance that's really similar to Coming to America.
Right.
And there were probably parts of Rudy Ray Moore's career that Eddie Murphy saw. I can't say that he saw this dance and was like, do that in this movie, but maybe, I don't know.
I got the impression that those dancers were like a real artistic dance troupe that did tribal dances or African dances.
That's what I get. That's what I got.
Because they looked like, they look like professionals. Like they
were doing like flips and stuff.
Yeah, they look like the real deal. Not
they
just
were
like some dudes that he knew.
Yeah, no, they were definitely legit. Again, like I said, I think this whole scene was probably like the most real thing in this movie, where they really filmed one of his sets and just inserted it into his movie. Now,
Willie Green shows up with some of the goons from before. But I think they're just watching the show to begin with.
Well, he probably wanted his club back.
Yeah. Oh, he was there to cause trouble.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
he didn't start that shit up right away.
No, he just walked in and it was like,
he came in. Oh, and then there was the big dancing with the Dolemite dancers.
Yeah,
there was the girls, right? Mm-hmm. And they were just like doing their thing.
Oh, this was the dance I was just talking about.
That was the one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think in the movie they called them the Dolemite dancers, which is kind of like almost an insult to them, because what they were doing was better than the quality of the rest.
And
of the
plus,
movie.
I think there was like a couple of guys too.
Yeah. So then Dolemite comes on to do a set, or he's going to perform something from one of the records.
Yeah.
Dolemite has got the wildest costume.
Is it like a white, something that Elvis would wear?
Yeah, exactly. He had two capes on.
Yeah,
he had two capes. It was like a James Brown / Elvis type.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
like
super like Liberace shit.
Yeah, like you can throw them all in there, and that's this outfit.
If he went through all their closet and took something from each, that's what.
Like a white pantsuit sequence with a low cut. Like. How do people just dress like this back then? Yeah. This is amazing. Like the 70s, man, they were a whole other level, dude.
And that's where I think they were pulling the audio. He did the performance straight off of one of his Dolemite albums. Mm-hmm. It was the one you like, about In the Jungle.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying, that this, and Kevin, I think we should definitely include like a little bit of this, because you
pull
can
some of the audio.
Pull some audio for YouTube. But this is probably, like I said, the most famous line from this movie. Like, it's to me the one that if you say it, you automatically think of Dolemite.
Hit me with a line.
So again, I'm not gonna say the whole thing, but he starts off saying, "Way down in the jungle deep."
Way down in the jungle deep. The lion stepped on the signifying monkey's feet. The monkey said, "Motherfucker, can't you see? You're standing on my goddamn feet." The monkey lived in the jungle in an old oak tree. Bullshitting the lion every day in the week. Every day before the sun go down, that lion will kick his ass all through the jungle town. But the monkey got wise and started using his wit. Started saying, "I'm gonna put a stop to this old ass kicking shit."
The lip syncing was terrible. That's why I feel like they took the audio straight from the record.
Yeah, possibly. I don't remember that. I didn't notice that.
He was not even close.
Was it way off?
Oh, it was way off. Okay. Like seconds off. Mm-hmm.
To me, this whole monologue that he does about the signifying monkey is the birth of Dolemite. That's where all of Dolemite came from. This is when, when Rudy Ray Moore was working in the record shop, and the guy would come in and he would tell stories. He would tell stories like this. Yeah. And that's what kind of perked up Rudy Ray Moore's ears. Like, oh, that's a cool story. I'm wondering if I can repeat that.
And no doubt you can find this shit on YouTube.
Easily find it on YouTube.
The stuff off the albums.
Absolutely.
When he finishes his bit and he's walking off, Queen Bee just straight up calls him Rudy Ray. She said, "Rudy Ray, everybody." Then she's like, "A Dolemite." She was taken out of the moment, kind of like. Well, she was stuck in the thing of they were doing like they were doing one
a real show. Yeah. Kind of like when Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker called Leia Carrie.
When? I missed that. I don't know that bit. What movie?
Yeah, in Star Wars.
In the original?
Yeah.
What time? What?
After he blows up the Death Star and he comes back.
Okay.
He getting out of his...
When they're hugging and stuff?
Yeah, when they're hugging, he calls her Carrie.
Shit, okay. Did they fix it on special editions?
Maybe, I don't know.
I got the OG...
if you have the OG, he definitely calls... How do you have the OG?
It was like on the DVD box set I got years ago. The original theatrical was a bonus disc.
Holy shit, dude! That's like,
man,
you sell that on eBay for like $1 million.
I'm holding it, dude. You got to come. I'll keep it, but you come over, we'll watch it.
Absolutely, I think J.J. Abrams is trying to get the original release.
Hell yeah, Disney! Come on, Disney.
They would
make some money, Disney.
So here's the funny thing: everybody keeps saying that George Lucas is all about the money now, like he did the Ewoks and all that stuff like that, which I don't necessarily disagree with. But if he really wanted to make money, you can't tell me that man wouldn't have released the original Star Wars. He would have made bank off of that. I mean, can you imagine how much money he would make if he released the original, like Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, but I think he was always just probably holding it for one more payday when he needed it.
The man's worth like $6 billion.
That's true, man.
Like, how much more money
now
does he
Disney's
need?
Going to cash that in when they're having a slow year.
He's good. He's doing it for like some stupid artistic reason.
What they should do is do a theatrical run of the originals untouched.
Can you, man?
Again, and then when that's done, then
just
you
release
sell
those DVDs or Blu-ray.
4K.
Can you imagine? I mean, can you imagine?
Oh, dude, I'd be in there.
Everybody would be in there. Everybody's so starved for like good Star Wars movies now that everybody would go see those movies.
Okay, so Dolemite goes in the back and he changes clothes and he comes back out to talk to Willie Green.
Yeah, this is actually kind of funny.
They argue a little bit. Willie Green's saying Dolemite still owes him a lot of interest on that $50,000
because he paid him the money. He didn't pay them interest, which they never talked about.
Willie Green says, "Give me $100,000 or." We're going to become partners. Yeah.
So how's their interest more than your principal?
I don't know. It's a loan sharking type.
Exactly.
But Dolemite says, it's nice to have seen you people, but fuck you, man.
but he does it in the Dolemite way. Like he's like the worst actor, right?
Well,
he stutters all his lines.
You take it because you got.
No, I'm not saying you.
No,
you
can put some bass in it though.
It's not even that. Like I can't do that any justice. Like he's such a terrible actor that he hesitates all his lines, right? So he. I can't do it with justice.
Such passion that it's still fun to watch.
Yeah. I can't mimic him. Like
I can't explain how this movie works because it goes against all logic.
It makes no sense. It's like it's absolutely the bad movie that you just cannot like. I can't cut this off.
And it's so damn lovable.
Yeah. You're right. I don't get it either, man.
Okay, well, looking at the clock, this is probably a good time to leave off here with Dolemite having just insulted Willie Green because shit's about to pop off in the club, and it's going to be just a race to the finish of the movie. So we'll leave it there for this week, but we'll be back with a whole lot more next week.
We'll talk to you later.